welcomes you to D&D's Meet the Candidates Hour, a full hour of interviewing a candidate running for local office, learning what he or she is all about, and what they have to offer if elected. Now, here are your hosts, Don Elwell and Dan Andrews.
Good morning, everybody. Don Elwell and Dan Andrews here with D&D Live. Meet the Candidates Series, edition number 2, I think we're going to call this.
Dose,
if you will. And last week, of course, we spoke with Lauren Bush, who is a candidate for Highlands County School Board-District number 2. And her opponent in this is incumbent Donna Howerton, again, Highlands County School Board District number 2. So, Donna, how are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
No, thank you. Thanks for coming. We certainly appreciate it. We're going to ask you just a bunch of little questions, and most of them are coming from us, but occasionally we get one from a listener or from somebody on Facebook. Right now, if you would like to, by the way, send in a question, we're going to have a short segment a little later on in the hour for people to be able to kind of pose questions, but we're not taking any calls. So if you want to, you may go ahead and text it. Text it to 381-5622 if you'd like to. Again, that's, of course, area code 863-381-5622. Text your question. We will see if we can get a couple of those in when we get to that part of the show. But, Donna, if you would, kind of get, not everybody, you've been in Highlands County, I think, for quite a while. But not everybody knows you. And so if you would, just kind of give us your background and bio and what brings you here.
Be glad to. I'm very proud to say I'm 3 generations who grew up in Highlands County, attended schools here, and I'm a graduate of Sebring High. My children followed me through the same schools, and now my grandchildren are attending. I'm very proud of each of them, and my daughter has returned to education. She's a technology resource teacher at Sebring Middle School in Hillgusset. My mom also is an educator. When my son was graduating, I decided I was not ready to give up education. And I sat as a parent on various committees. And when he was graduating, Margaret Turnbull decided she wanted to step down. And so I was encouraged to run for her position. And so that's where I am now. I was also hired from Southbridge Abstract and Title. I have worked there for 35 plus years, and when I'm now semi-retired from them, and I now do bank, government, and consulting for Southridge. And then I also do tax deed searches for the Highlands County tax collector. So I have the flexibility of doing what I'm doing from home, which allows me to concentrate on time for my family and then school board responsibilities.
Sure. I would imagine those take up a good amount of time as well, for sure.
So, Donna, I grew up with your daughter, and my brother grew up with your son. So if you started after he graduated, you've been doing this a little while.
I have been. I was elected first back in 1996, and this would be my 8th term going into the school board. And but I've not been opposed since my first run for election. So
wow.
So I've gone unopposed until this election.
Okay.
And I know we have a term limit out there that's been set by the legislator. So
yeah.
After, but I'll be honest with you in that aspect. I kind of feel that some counties made, our governor and legislation mad, not kind of trying to adhere to what they wanted them to do. So this is where we kind of ended up with term limits, because our legislators are great to work with in Highlands County. And I feel that that's kind of the voter's voice if they want to get. And it takes a lot of years to get to understand this, as you know, Mr. Elwell, being a county commissioner.
Sure. Now, so you've been in for, as you said, 7 terms. So would this then, because of the term limits thing, then be your final term if you're elected, or would you get one more? Or how does that work?
If I were elected, I would actually get one more term allowable.
One more after this one, so you could do 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you could do a maximum of 9. You could do.
Correct.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, and some were actually set. I think the last election for 12. And I think they would be moved to actually 8, to 2 terms.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, it's a little bit tough to kind of keep up on those things because they change a little bit there in Tallahassee. But
so let's just clarify that for a quick second, because it confused me, so it may have confused others. But so currently there are not term limits for...
There are 12 years term limits now. Currently.
Right. Okay.
Now, and then on this ballot, we'll vote to go to 8.
Got it.
No, legislation has already been set there.
Yeah, I think you're set for 8.
Legislation has already been set there for 8.
But that is So it's from the point in which that was voted in.
Correct.
That's how you're
right. You're
You're
grandfathered in. Anything that you've done previous doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's 8 from when they did it.
What's going to be on the ballot this year is we were made nonpartisan. It will be going to partisan. The voters can vote for that.
Okay.
To go to partisan.
Okay.
So why? And this is I think a great startup question here for. So why do you feel you're the best candidate for the position?
As a school board member, our responsibilities are to see over policies and the budget. And we work with the school board attorney to review these budgets. And as you know, statutes come up that change things. We also work with the Department of Education. So at the state level, we get changes also there. But then we also want to look at our policies because we use a firm that does for the whole state of Florida and what might work in Miami. That you're not changing the law. You can't change the law or things, but we can tweak things that we want to make sure it's going to benefit Highlands County.
Okay.
So, and then another thing, I've been committed to prioritizing the tax dollars in the classroom. I'm opposed to increasing administrative expenses, and I have overseen the consistent approval of balanced budgets. Highlands County, will still have access to a quality education. I want to ensure that school district receives the best return on their investment.
Okay. And what is the budget of the school board approximate? I know
$248 million.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think we're the largest budget, the largest employer in Highlands County.
I would think so. I know it's certainly bigger than the county budget, and the county budget, of course, includes the tax collector and property appraiser, all of that. But it's that's quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Donna, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the half-cent sales tax that was approved a couple years ago, and what your vision is for the use of those dollars. I know you're limited as to how they can be used, but how do you envision that benefiting the school district here moving forward? Because what are you, 2 years into it or 4? Either way, several years into it. So.
Well, it has benefited us tremendously. Of course, with the safety issues that are being required by the state, and our growth, we had millage kind of taken away from us by the state, and so the voters passing this half-cent sales tax has been such a benefit. We also formed a committee that oversees how those half-cent sales tax dollars are spent. But we actually ran that half-cent sales tax one time before. It didn't pass. And it's really something that you've got to educate your voters and make them understand how it's going to benefit not only the schools, but also their future of our students going through those schools. So it did pass the second go-round. We advertised, because we were so behind in our school buses, that we advertised this would allow us to buy school buses, and then we found out that had not been included.
Oops.
Transportation was not included.
So I actually contacted Representative Albritton then, he's now Senator Albritton, and asked him to come in, and he and I, along with Dr. Longshore, spoke, and he helped us, along with Senator Broxton, to pass something that then allowed us to include school buses, which there were some other counties that thought the same thing. And we actually had to pay back dollars that we'd bought those buses with, but now have the availability to buy buses, our safety, our fencing, our construction needs. We're fixing to build 2 wings, at both of our elementary schools. So
is there any place that people can see, hey, here's where the dollars went to, or is
it?
On
our website we have a place where they can see where the dollars went and how much we've accumulated.
Very good.
Yeah.
We're talking, of course, with Donna Howerton, candidate for Highlands County School Board District number 2, and we will have we got a whole bunch more questions for. We're just getting started here on D&D Live Meet the Candidates series. We hope you can tune in and stay with us for just a little bit longer. Don Elwell and Dan Andrews, D&D Live Meet the Candidates series here with Donna Howerton, candidate for Highlands County School Board, District number 2. Donna, again, you've been in office for a while, about 20, this is your 28th year, I think. So I know you've made a lot of decisions and you've had a lot of votes over those years and so that. Is there one that stands out to you as the one that you think you're most proud of, or the achievement that you're like, yeah, I'm glad, I was really proud to be a part of that?
Well, I was sharing on the half-cent sales tax and adding the buses. That was one. But also, when I was under Mr. Cox, he had brought a proposal or talked to us about a proposal from, then it was South Florida Community College, now South Florida State College. It was our career institute that we offer. And when he first kind of started talking to us, he was like, not sure we had the funding available for that. And so we might have to delay it. But as I got to looking into it and the benefits from it, this would allow students to have a half a day of school and a half a day in the vocation field. So what we've got to realize over the years is students that may have dropped out of high school on us have gone on into this program, and now has allowed them to succeed and be, part of our future citizens. And so
how many students participate in that program now?
125. We are limited because of the space. We have 125 a year, and we are maxed out right now for next year.
Okay.
So,
and what kind of vocations are in that vocational institute? What kind of?
Okay, you have your examples. Air conditioning, your mechanics, your technology. But then along with that, at our high schools also, which I'm very proud of, Scott Morgan has really increased our high schools. And he has added nursing. We've got nursing at our high schools now. We've got brand new welding labs.
Gotcha.
At our high school, which the college was going to try and do a portable one, but it didn't end up working out for Highlands County. So we're actually talking with Senator Grahl and some business leaders that we're talking about putting a vocational site, which I'm very proud to be working towards, that would allow, because we're kind of getting out of space in our high schools with not only students but space to have these activities in our schools.
Right.
So we would get a vocational site that would possibly be centrally located, move Avon Park and Lake Placid possibly students, and this would alleviate our overcrowding at Sebring High right now. We get something called sparsity dollars, and this would allow us not to lose those. If we build another high school, we'll lose those dollars from the state. But I'm very proud of the moving forward and the changes that we've made in vocational, because that's going to be our future workforce, and we're seeing that we don't have those people that are trained to do that.
Sure. Very good.
Okay, so Donna, your challenger brought this up, and so I just thought we would go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off and ask. So it sounds like you were contemplating not running, and then something changed, and you decided that you wanted to bring in another opportunity for another term. And so tell us a little bit about your thought process there, how that came about, and how you ended up running again.
Well, actually, and I think it was earlier in this last term, Mark Valera had called me one day. I was out of town on another subject, and I don't really know how the conversation got up about, am I going to run again? And I told him, with every changes, and I always tell people that depending on my health, I'll keep doing it as long as I can. But I told him that I didn't know if I was going to run again, but I hadn't planned in that article for that statement to be placed.
Gotcha.
So it was. And so I did have different people that approached me about running. Somebody asked me, would I mentor them? And so I kind of shared with them what Mrs. Turnbull said when I ran, that she wouldn't endorse anyone, that she said, you might have enemies and I have enemies, and run on your own merits. And I've still remembered that to this day. So that's what I've told the candidates that I've asked this. But when I did decide to file, I called back. There were 3 of them actually that contacted me about possibly filing, and I called them back to let them know. And I want to say each one I contacted, I received motivating responses, and some of these were from my opponent. Some replied, you're an expert in that seat, along with what I know how to ask all the questions and to hold my cards and push back, and I have the pulse of the schools. Many asked to help in any way I could, and another individual stated, I'm glad you're staying, we need you. So I had others coming because we had a new school board attorney.
Right.
We had a new finance person. We had 2 new board members going on the board. And with the superintendent race, not knowing, they were like, Donna, you got to go one more term. And, I have a passion for this. I want to see our schools succeed. And I've been a part of the process. I have the experience, and I have the change that pushes back to allow the voice for all children.
And I know from talking to some school board members that have just recently become elected, that first couple years is like drinking from a fire hose. And so I know that there's some challenges that come when you're new to the field, but it also brings new ideas and things of that nature. So how would you respond to that, the idea of bringing new ideas to the table?
I'm very interested in bringing new. As a matter of fact, when I go off on these school board conferences, we get brought to us because we're not able to talk with each other as board members to do the Sunshine Law.
Sure.
So when we go off to conferences, we network. I'm part of a small school district consortium, which I was just made an officer this last conference, and that opportunity allows for new changes, and I would be open to also to new changes being brought into, as long as it's going to benefit all students and our faculty.
Sure. Now, one of the I asked you a little while ago, of course, what was your proudest moments as far as decisions that you liked the most, and of course, obviously the school sales tax and the vocational schools that we talked about, the Career Institute. You've been in office for a while. I've been in office for a while. I'm nowhere near the duration that you have. And I know I've got a few decisions that I'm like, we probably should have done something differently there or whatever. Is there a decision that you can think of over your tenure that you would say, you know what, I wish we had done something different there. I wish we'd gone in a different direction, or I'd voted differently myself even. Anything that stands out to you?
Well, I thought you might be going with what would you like to see change.
Well, and we probably will do that one, but yeah.
Well, and I will say, as I was a board member, things that would be brought to us from the district office as to our curriculum, which really we're not over curriculum. We're a part of policy and budgets. So we'd have items brought to us. So I got to realizing that I needed to go to those schools and see what exactly this would affect their, that subject. And if they shared with me, they would share with me the changes that they saw that were needed. Then I would share with the other board members. So I would like to see that we can, change the way we get more information from the schools and have a part of that.
That's what you would like to see different.
Yeah.
Okay. Has there been anything though over the last 28 years or so that you say, yeah, we, hindsight being 2020, I voted the wrong way, or we went the wrong direction on this?
I can't really say that.
Well, that's pretty darn impressive. I'm just saying. I got about a handful. Yeah.
I know that there has been some concerns over the health education component of it, and I want to say that curriculum was brought to a committee. Actually, I believe my opponent sat on that committee when that subject was looked at, along with other individuals in the community. And so the thing that then we're brought to us is just a memorandum of understanding. We weren't having to pay for that. That's no reason why I would continue voting for it. But one of the presenters started doing things. So I think that made us realize that I need to have curriculum people check these things out on a yearly basis so we don't have things sliding in. And so, and it was brought to my attention and given some examples, and I took it into Superintendent Longshore, and I showed her, and I said, listen, I'm going to next board meeting. Sometimes you have to do that, because you kind of feel you're not getting an answer. And so I said, I'm going to bring it to the board members and share with them. And she reviewed it, and she pulled that program. So it's no longer in our system. So I just feel that we need to be on top with the ever-changing world that we're seeing of things trying to be slid in. That's what we're being faced with.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about, or you've talked a little bit about the roles and responsibilities of a school board member, but why don't you expound on that a little bit and tell the listening audience exactly what you feel the role and responsibility is of the school board member, because you just mentioned that curriculum is a component of that. Mm-hmm. So maybe share how you manage or how you see the role of the school board member managing that component of it, because, what's the old adage? The squeaky wheel gets the grease,
yes.
And right. And that generally comes from the curriculum side of the equation.
I guess it's even like somebody I'd share we got a new custodial unit, and the one that we had, it kind of pulled some of our plant operators out and allowed new plant. Now our plant operators are part of ours. But I feel that what we need when we're looking at anything curriculum-wise you need communication. We need communication right now from teachers. We need communication from parents. So that's what I ran my first campaign. I've tried to have communication with all stakeholders, parents, teachers, and this is what we need. But in a roundabout way, I do need those people at the curriculum department too to do their job.
Right.
And so, can you micromanage everything? But I think we have learned from this that things that are brought outside that we're not, administering ourselves as teachers, we need to stay on top of that and make sure nothing is being added by a presenter or anything.
Very good. We're talking, of course, with Donna Howerton, candidate for Highlands County School Board, District number 2. This is the D&D Live Meet the Candidates series. We've got more questions, including, by the way, if you would like to text one in, 381-5622 is the number. In just a moment or two, we're going to see if we can get one or two of those questions worked into the show as well, and we'll hear more from Donna in just a moment. Don Elwell, Dan Andrews, D&D Live, Meet the Candidates series. We are talking, of course, with Donna Howerton, candidate for Highlands County School Board, District number 2. Dan, you have got the next question to ask our candidate.
That's right, and we're taking questions from the listening audience, and this is one that we received. So, Donna, can you explain a little bit more on how our school district accountability rating is number 6 from the bottom in the state, but our kids are getting a quality education? So what this caller is saying is that you stated earlier that they're getting a quality education, yet our accountability rating is 6th from the bottom.
Okay, well, I'm going to say on a quality education, I think we have awesome teachers in all of our schools. So we are getting a quality education. Not to kind of go off of, but I actually saw something the other day. It was kind of when you get those reels that you get, and it was somebody saying, when you leave school, do they ask you when you go for a job, what was your school grade and what was your state test score? Do I think that we need accountability and transparency? Yes. And as I mentioned, Dr. Longshore and the curriculum department are over our curriculum, and I have spoke to Dr. Longshore on numerous occasions that I wanted teachers to be more of a part of that process, which since I've been on the board, we've had 9 secondary changes at the secondary level. We've had 4 elementary changes, which is a lot. I feel that the two that we have right now and those positions are trying to include the teachers. Just kind of share with me, right now they've got 3 administrators going in together and going around to the schools and what one school might be doing. So kind of just in talking with them, and we don't have the raw scores from the state, but our 3rd grade district average increased 5%, and we're exceeding the state average. So I think I know we're going to start seeing changes. And then also, as I said, when something's coming before us, if a teacher says, Ms. Howerton, this is going to be too much for us, we can do a program that you're asked to bring in from another state and pay lots of dollars on, pay us a little extra stipend. So I shared that with Dr. Longshore. So for any program to work, it's got to, your faculty and administration have got to be together on it, or it's not going to work.
Sure.
So we need to have more, of them all coming together.
Okay. Again, we're speaking with Donna Howerton, school board candidate for District 2. And Don, you're it.
I'm on. Okay. Well, one of the questions that we received here is if elected, what is your vision in, I guess, retaining teachers and recruiting new teachers to the area? Is a couple little follow-up side questions. I mean, is a 4-day work week on the table? Is there a signing bonus? I think the 4-day work week was kind of maybe put in there like a wishful thinking, but a signing bonus. And what incentives do we have, I guess, in our quiver or arsenal that you're going to put out there, hopefully, or that to maybe recruit and retain teachers?
Yeah. Actually, I'm very excited to say that yesterday the governor announced that he's giving $1.5 billion to education, and it is in for salaries.
Oh.
So we are very excited about this. Of course, we're not going to get the $1.5 billion.
Yeah, I was going to say, what does that work out to?
We're not going to get the $1.5 billion.
$20.
$1,500.
But we'll get a portion of it. I also sit on the Goal 3 Strategic Plan of Recruitment and Retention. So we have been doing, we have in the school, Grow Your Own. And so we've been doing that, and then also doing interning at our those students that are at college, allowing them to do interning. And we are doing career fairs that we've done numerous of, and we are also have a recruitment person that is going out of state. And I was just told this last couple of states that we've gone to, we've got 11 people coming from out of state to Highlands County. So we are, and of course, salary is the thing, and they do deserve those extra dollars.
Yeah,
more than extra.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that our teachers are not the problem. The teachers are doing.
They're amazing.
They are absolutely amazing. Their commitment, their passion to what they do, and again for the amount of abuse they have to take, and the money that they're making, it is absolutely incredible.
And the governor did raise them up to the beginning teacher, but we didn't hit those middle teachers.
Gotcha.
And I as a board member, plan on trying to. I want to, and that's it. I'm 1 out of 5.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm 1 out of 5.
So what is what is the biggest challenge you have to recruiting teachers to this area? So 2-part question: what's the biggest challenge? And then 2, how do we compensate a teacher that's been here, let's say 10 years, with a new recruitment that we're paying higher dollar rate to? And that's the biggest challenge that I've heard. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, and that's where I'm hoping with this 1.5, that we can address that challenge, because the bad thing was that once, and the state, 60% of our budget is salary that we have. So when you get those dollars, and the state and governor says, okay, these are the dollars, this is where you got to put. So then when you put that person at the beginning, you got to put those people, of course, under them. I mean, I've got a daughter that's their 26th year. I mean, so 26 years, that top person is making $48,000, and I think she's roughly making $56,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
After that long of a tenure.
After that long of a tenure,
Sure.
So, I mean, of course, they do have benefits and insurance, but still, they need the compensation.
So do the new recruits.
So exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a shame that wage compression is something that we definitely need to address for sure for those folks. I have one question here that was submitted to us and said that I guess in that article that you referred to back when you were interviewed by Mark Valero back in it looks like 2021 or so, you had mentioned that you were going to try to see about a appointed superintendent versus an elected one, that you were going to try to get an appointed superintendent before the next term was over. Obviously, that has not happened. If that's true, what is your plan? I guess to follow through on that, or is that still not, or is that something that you believe in, or no?
Well, actually, we tried that back when Mr. Tuck was on the board with us. It has to come before the board, then has to go before the county commissioners to allow it to be put on as a referendum, and it did go on the ballot, and it was voted against to go appointed versus, but. Our school board of Highlands County is the largest business. It's a huge business. And like I kind of shared with Dr. Longshore when she was running, I said sometimes when you're running, you need to put strengths where you have weaknesses. So that's the only thing. With a appointed superintendent, we would have that capability. But I'll be honest with you, when I approach the voters, they're like, I want that vote. And I want them to have that vote too. But I want to have the person that's going to do the best job and be able to cover all the areas and make sure that they're going to make sure that we put the strengths where we need those strengths if we have weaknesses. So I have leaned towards the appointed superintendent.
So is there going to be any movement, do you think, in the next few years to revisit that again, or to leave it elected?
No, I believe it'll be looked into, yeah. And, and it was kind of mentioned at the end of this one, during this term, and it never went. So there's a process to that we have to get, go through the supervisor elections, and I can't give you details exactly what that process is. But, someone that wants to see that can actually put that process through and allow us then to take the action on it and then allow it to be put up as a referendum. We've been lucky over the years of the superintendents that we've had, but exactly right. That would be an easier process if we get someone in there that's not doing their job. The only thing that worries me about the appointed is I hear on TV when they're leaving the huge amount of dollars.
Oh, like a severance kind of thing? Okay.
Severance. So that would be
that
would be the part that I would like to, as a board member, with checking with the attorney, for that buyout part of it.
Sure.
So correct me if this is wrong, but the way I understand it, is that the school board would make a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners would make a recommendation to create a referendum.
Put it on the
ballot. Referendum would go on the ballot, and then they would vote in. Mm-hmm. If it got approved by the voters, and does that just a simple majority, I think, or is it a super majority?
I believe it'd just be a simple majority.
Simple majority. Yeah. Then the school board would appoint a committee,
which would be of administrators, teachers, parents, community leaders,
to go through a hiring process to hire and when we're talking appointed, we're talking about a hired versus an elected superintendent. Okay, very good.
Very good. All right, Dan, you get the next question, sir.
Didn't I just ask one?
I don't know. I don't know. It's half question, half monologue. We do that all the time.
Sure. So why don't you share a little bit more in depth about this, Donna? And that is, you had children that you raised through the school system, and we asked your challenger if she had children in the school system, and she has removed them from the school system. What say you to that? And do you have children in the school system?
I do. Well, I have grandchildren in the school system. I have grandchildren that are in the school system, and I'm very proud of each of them. And as I stated, I had sat on various committees as a parent, and then also I have served on various things as a board member. I sit on the Citizens Advisory that oversees the half cent, the Athletic Task Force, which brings all the cities together and looks over our athletic needs, the student code enforcement, yearly review that we do, the calendar, and as I mentioned, the goal 3 of recruitment and retention that I'm on. So I'm trying to figure if I actually answered your question.
Well, so yes, you have grandchildren in the school system, and you feel that they're getting a quality education.
Oh, I definitely feel that they're getting a quality education and have and will succeed with what they're receiving in the schools. Yes.
Very good.
Okay, so here's one that it was a hotter topic a couple years ago, but it's still kind of a sticky one. At what grade do you believe that sex education should be taught in schools, and what would that curriculum include?
Okay. Well, of course, there's your state law and your statute out there that does say, and I wish that every child could have a parent that's going to guide them in certain directions. And we do have trafficking in Highlands County. We do have suicide in Highlands County. And then we also need to teach our children. I've set in on some of these that the RUC company is putting on these right now in our schools. I feel middle school is a good start. I really do. So I'm good. That's where we are, is with middle school students 6 through 8, and I'm good with that. And we have all we have right now in place is what the state has required, the 5 hours, and covering the areas that we got a committee to approve. And we also got this RUC, and we had them put a curriculum together and had the committee approve that curriculum. And then we put it out to the public for 20 days that approved this. I'll be honest, the 2 classes that I sat in on, they were like, Miss Howerton, these kids, they need a little bit more, and I want to keep every child safe. And I wish that every child had a parent, that is going to share with them. Sure. So if I can save that one child, then I'm good with it.
Okay, before we go to break here, let's talk. Let me ask you, this is a nonpartisan election,
right?
It very well may become partisan in the future. So how do you align politically?
What
kind of left or left center, center,
conservative,
right center,
Conservative.
Okay.
Conservative.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. All right, very good. Of course, we're talking with Donna Howerton, candidate for Highlands County School Board, District Number 2. Donna has served for 7 terms and is the current seat holder as in District 2. We've got a few more questions to ask, some lighter questions, and one or two more coming from the audience as well, from listeners. Again, if you have any questions that you would like us to ask that we have not asked, 381-5622. We've got a few, but we may interject one or two more as we continue on D&D Live's Meet the Candidate series. D&D Live's Meet the Candidate series continues. Donna Elwell, Dan Andrews, and Donna Howerton. Actually, 3 Ds today, Dan. As Donna's here talking a little bit about Highlands County School Board District Number 2, and that is the seat which she sits in, and also is what she is seeking. And that's kind of goes to my next question, Donna, and that is, okay, so you've obviously got a passion for this role, otherwise you wouldn't be in it as long as you have been. And tell me, if you would, what are the plans for this term number 8, if you will? Here's what I want to get accomplished during this term that we've not done so far, but where it's going to happen during these next 4 years. What is the goal or goals?
There we go.
Okay. Well, the one goal I would hope to get started was the one that I had brought to you earlier, and that is to kind of get some affirmative on the vocational site that I'd spoke about. We've actually found out from DOE that we could actually we actually looked for them to get monies to help with our wings, and we didn't fall in that category. So I'd like to see us pursue DOE to get the dollars they said that we could possibly utilize for vocational. And then we've had some business leaders. So I think this is very important to our, to get that going and get our construction needs completed. Also, I feel that we need to, like we're saying, we need to continue to work to get those transparency in our get our school grades up and that type of thing. We do need to work on that, and that's why I said I feel we've got 2 people that are trying to work with administrators and teachers, and I will stay on that. I will talk to Dr. Longshore about that, to say that this is a huge need, and if Dr. Longshore is in a superintendent, that this is a huge need that we have in making the best quality education. And I have done that. I have been a proponent so far of the change, and I will continue to do that. I will be an advocate for the teachers to see that we continue in every way we can.
So Donna, let's talk religion.
Okay.
Why not?
Oh man!
Right?
Look at you.
Let's bring in a hot topic. But how do you feel, or do you believe religion should be mandated or included in schools?
I don't know that we can mandate it because there's so many religions out there.
Sure.
So I don't know that I want it mandated. I do not, and I think I'm actually being told that we can have the Bible in our schools. We have our Youth for Christ programs that we offer. I think the only school that doesn't have the Youth for Christ at our secondary is Lake Placid Middle. So if there's anybody out there that would like to take that on for our students in Lake Placid Middle, that would be great. I attended the other day the national prayer around the flagpole, and support that completely. We had a gentleman that came and challenged us about saying prayer at our board meetings, and we've got actually a lawsuit going right now that we are fighting it. Because we're not just going to agree not to have prayer, and
the Highlands County School Board has actually been sued because you guys prayed
along with, they say, the Christmas activities that we have at our schools and stuff. Oh wow. Yeah, so we've got a group that has sued us, and so we were approached by the attorney. And I said yes, I want to move forward. I don't want someone telling me. And we have prayer at the beginning of a lot of our sports activities. And I'm telling you, folks, we took prayer out of the schools, and it needs to be there.
Yeah.
It needs to,
Yeah, I would be a horrible school board member because I want to go back to uniforms. Mm-hmm. I want to go back to. I want all these things that I think are going to help in the long term. Not just because I like to see everybody in khakis and a white shirt or something, but I just think that kind of structure really makes the difference. But I know that there's also some logistical issues there. Mm-hmm. But in any case,
says a guy who went to Catholic school.
I did go to all boys Catholic school, so just doubly punishing. Anyway,
and so you want to punish the rest of the students of Highlands County?
I want everyone to suffer as I suffered. Exactly. No. Anyway, so Donna, we're gonna line it up just a little bit, though. I do want to ask you just a couple dumb questions because I know you have been in Highlands County, for a while. So let's talk a little bit about this. What's your favorite restaurant in Highlands County?
What's my favorite?
It's got to be food related because I'm a food guy. So what's your favorite restaurants in Highlands County? If you've got like 2 or 3 places that you could say, "Yep, I'm going there." Where is it besides your kitchen?
And it can't be a steak cooked by you and the ladies.
No, it can't be. Yeah, it can't be.
It's got to be a restaurant.
Well, then I'm gonna because I do support the beef.
Of course.
So, Gator Shack and Watering Hole.
Yeah, we both, by the way, have really good steaks.
Are 2 of my very, very favorites. We have many. I mean, I'm just amazed at what we're getting here in Highlands County. But the amazing thing is when you go in there, they're packed. They're packed. And I walk in there a lot of times, I'm like, I don't even know anybody in here. So Highlands County is growing, but those are a couple of my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, segue to, what's your favorite thing to do in Highlands County?
Oh, yeah. Like for fun.
For fun.
Yeah.
For fun. I love the hammock. I love our hammock. I love it's Topoga Park that's across from me where I live. And I take my grandchildren over there and we ride bikes and we walk and there's trails there. So, I take them to the Children's Museum.
Sure.
So I was a high school tennis player. And I'm kind of getting into the pickleball craze.
Oh, there you go.
The pickleball craze.
Laura and I are all in on pickleball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, there you go.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with that. So, how can people get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you, if they have questions for you? What's the best way for them to get in touch with you? I noticed you have a Facebook page now.
I do. I have a Facebook
for your campaign.
Facebook page that says "Re-elect Donna Howerton for School Board District 2." I also have a website. Which is Donna for SBHC.com.
SBHC, okay.
Which he told me that I could brag on him for making that for me, but Miguel reached out to me, Miguel Arceo.
Oh, yeah.
Graduate from Sebring High, reached out to me and said, "Ms. Howerton, I want to do your website for you." And I was like, oh, that just thrilled me. That was very nice. Awesome. Mm-hmm. And then I also have, it's a Google, have a doc.google.com where you can go on there, and it also has, you look for the Re-elect Donna, and it has where you can say, I want a shirt, I want to help you hold signs, I want to donate money, so it has
like a volunteering kind of thing.
Yes.
And okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so all kinds of different ways to get a hold of you for sure.
And I'm sure most of that is linked through your Facebook page too, so they can. That's probably the simplest way to find her is Re-elect Donna Howerton. On Facebook.
All right, so with the obviously absentee voting, those ballots will be going out in the coming weeks, and the early voting doesn't start until around August 10th or so, I do believe. Your election, your battle will be, of course, that one, the primary fight, if you will. It's an open primary, so it'll be over with August 20th as Election Day. So if you would, in your words, tell us why should people be voting for Donna Howerton for school board? Okay.
Our schools have been faced with so many challenges, but I'm the only candidate with experience to have seen our district face challenges. Highlands County is growing and is going to be facing major challenges to our education system. There are several new faces, and people have stepped forward serving our schools. I would like my experience to be a continued part of the conversation for our schools by being continuously accessible and pragmatic in moving Highlands County, Florida. So I would encourage the voters to vote Donna Howerton, School Board District 2, August 20th.
Very good. Okay, and you already touched on the fact that again what's the one that you check the most? Is it Facebook? You probably check that one the most for messages and stuff.
I hear I'm kind of behind the times.
Yeah, I hear that too from my kids. But
you need to get your own TikTok going.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah.
Great.
I have to have my grandchildren help me there.
We're going to see Donna Howerton for school board doing some dancing videos on TikTok.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. How cool would that be?
You definitely have no talent to sing.
How funny would that be, though? That'd be good. All right. So again, Donna Howerton, obviously School Board District 2. Any other last little questions we want to just touch on? Because she's hit all the high points.
I think we covered it all. I think we want to remind the listening audience that we're doing this interview for each and every one of the local candidates this season, and we'll be wrapping those up here as we move into the end of July. We have the sheriff, we have the school board, we have superintendent. that we're all doing the interviews of each candidate, and then we're going to wrap this up with a little bit of debate.
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
It's your show, Donna. You do what you want.
You go right ahead, Donna. We're here for you.
Okay, so if someone, I do appreciate the listeners that are listening, and I'm open to giving my phone number also, 863-381-2664. Okay. So if they have something, and I want to, thank you two for allowing this opportunity so that people can tune in and listen to make the best decision when they go to vote.
So again, that phone number, 863-381-2664?
Correct.
That's the number to catch. Or you can obviously catch her at booth number 2 at Gator Shack or possibly Watering Hall. She'll be at one of those places as well. But anyway, Donna, we certainly appreciate you being here. I know we've got, as Dan mentioned, we've got some other races that are coming up starting next Thursday. We have another interview to do, and I think this one obviously is going to be a little different race than we had. I think we've got, I believe is it superintendent or sheriff that's next week? I think it's superintendent candidates begin next week. We've got right now, as of last I checked, there's I think going to be 3, I believe, is what I hear we'll have by the time the week is over. This is qualifying week, so after tomorrow at end of day, we'll know for sure what the final lineup is going to be. But we certainly appreciate you being here and being a part of it as well. Donna Howerton, again, school board candidate, Highlands County District number 2. Looking forward to seeing the outcome, and certainly wish you the best as we go along. By the way, you're going to be at the Republican meeting tonight?
I will.
Republican Executive Committee meeting tonight. Any other appearances coming up?
We actually have one with the Union that's going to be coming up. It'll be at First Baptist Church. I don't have those dates in front of me.
What is it? Union?
School Union.
Oh, the school union. I thought you'd be at the credit union just hanging out.
Yeah. I've been reached out by the realtors. I haven't set that date yet for my interview for endorsing candidates. So.
Very good. Okay, so there's going to be plenty of places to look around. Watch for quite a bit as you go along. Again, it's a short period of time between now and election season, and get all the information you possibly can. But again, if you want to talk to Donna directly, if you got any questions on anything that she said today, or you want to just reach out to her and maybe pledge your support, volunteer, get a T-shirt, 863-381-2664 is that number again for Donna Howerton, Highlands County School Board candidate number 2. We appreciate you all listening. Thanks for being here. D&D Live's Meet the Candidates series continues again next week as we turn our attention towards the school board candidates. Should be a lot. Superintendent candidates. Excuse me. As we go forward here on the Meet the Candidates series. Thanks again for listening, everybody.